before I forget the details, because it just happened last night. And it was very spiritual, and I do believe that every spiritual dream that you get has meaning and purpose. And especially this one. I've had a couple dreams in my lifetime that were very significant, with the meaning, and this is up there with it. So anyways, the dream starts out with where I'm in Dairy Queen, and the person messes up my order, which we had Dairy Queen last night, so that does make sense. But someone messed up my order, and we were in there going back and forth with the worker. I can't remember exactly, excuse me, but anyways, that's not the important part. But he messed up my order. He was messing up someone else's order, and anyways, I leave there. Next thing I know, it's dark, and I'm on this like scooter type thing, and Nora's asleep, so I'm trying to be quiet. But I'm on this like some type of scooter or something, like with high bars going down the freeway of like a major highway, and it's dark, and I'm looking over trying to see, and I can't really see the lanes because of the handles of this thing, whatever I'm on, was blocking my view. And so I'm like in and out of lanes, trying to see. I couldn't really see, so I was driving without being able to really see. And then next thing I know, I am in a dark staircase type enclosure. It feels like pitch black, and it feels like an old house that I'm going down the stairs, and my body, all of a sudden, I'm being chased. So my body is doing flips down each staircase. So like I'm doing flips, but each flip forward that I'm doing, I am trying to hurry up, because I know I'm getting chased by something evil. But at the same time, each level I go down, I know I'm getting deeper and deeper down, and into the darkness and into danger. But I keep going down because I'm scared, and I'm like trying to run away from whatever this is, because you couldn't go up, you couldn't go to the side, you could only go down. So I'm doing that, and next thing I know, I'm in this room of this like old house, pitch dark. There's different rooms in there, and different demons are coming in the room, and I'm having to fight them. I'm like standing on the bed, and I'm like fighting, one at a time. And just like, I remember like picking up one of them by the hair and like slamming it down, and it coming after me. And so I start calling on God, and when I call on God, it's like for a second the demon is looking at me, and it like stops for a minute when I'm calling on God, but then it starts back, and here comes another one and another one, and they're trying to hurt me, and I'm scared. And so I start praying, and at one point I was like praising. The more I would praise, okay, then next thing I know, I was like, I had a man, and this is gonna sound funny because it just is, but it was like Blueface. And in the dream, I guess he was like my lover or whatever, but I think it was representing lust. He was representing lust, because I do find him very attractive. And so in the dream, like it was like we were together, but we were face to face, and it's like he would be demonic, and then the more I called out to God, the harder I pressed. He would start to have this look in his eyes, like he would start to go from evil to coming to like regular, but then he would go back to evil, and he was like just closer with God, the more he would stop and he would like turn into normal. And so I was just trying to do that more and more and more to get him to not be evil, towards me. And man, it was intense. And here's a crazy thing though, is in my dream, I was scared. I was screaming in terror when, I was getting chased and attacked by the demons. And in my dream, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to wake my family up because, we were staying with my mom. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm screaming so loud, I'm going to wake them up. But it's like, how did I know I was asleep if I was in a dream? That's the weird part, is that I was really scared I was going to wake them up. Because I just knew when I woke up that they were going to be like, you were so loud, what in the world? Screaming out in terror. And then at the end of the dream, God rescued me. Hallelujah. He saved the day. He saved me from these. And I was so happy because I was in deep darkness. I was, down, like I said, many, many, many floors down into the deepness, darkness, nowhere to go, like just me and these demons. So then when God saved me, I just remember being so happy and so thankful that I was just I was worshiping, with all my heart. I was crying and just worshiping, and I was just, the feeling just flooded over me of like thankfulness and relief and just in awe of God, and just so thankful that he did not, turn away from me and that he saved me. So I was like actually worried in my dream about being so loud of waking them up. But then I woke up and they said I wasn't loud. So, but I don't know, but today, so that's the dream. And it's just stuck with me. It's like really kind of crazy. I'm just really intense and I feel so sleepy, like I've ran a marathon or something, because I did not get good sleep because I was literally fighting in my dream, in my sleep, spiritually. I feel like when people say that they have out-of-body experiences or have visitations with the Lord or visions, dreams, things like that, where God takes them and shows them things, they are very tired. That is how I feel. And I don't know if it's that or if it's because maybe I'm dehydrated. I got burnt yesterday at the beach and I didn't use sunscreen. Well, I did use some on my face, on my nose, and my shoulders, but my back and my chest got burnt, like burnt up. So it's very hot and it's uncomfortable. And I think I need just a lot of water because, when you get burnt, it sucks your hydration out of your body. So I don't know if it's that or what, but I am so tired. It's so hard to drive right now. I'm having to drive an hour and a half home, which is not too bad. But I feel like my eyelids are just wanting to close. So heavy. They're so heavy. So when I get home, I think I'm going to get a nap. And then I'm going to try to study a little bit for work. Because being a coder, dang. It just like slammed on brakes. Being a coder is so challenging sometimes because our guidelines, change every year, and then our codes change, but throughout the year different things change constantly, different rules, that certain things may apply, then they don't apply, they completely change it, and then you gotta do it this way, no, do it that way, just as things progress and whatnot. But it's hard to keep up with all the different information that you have to keep up with. So I definitely need to study my notes just so I can stay feeling confident about my knowledge, with my job, with what I do every day, all day, because some of the things, if you might not see certain things in charts for a long time, and then you'll see it. So you need to know, and you have to, we're on a time crunch, so we have to know in our brain, and that information has to be readily available. you don't have time to be looking stuff up, really. I mean, you do, you can, but it slows you down. So I want to have all that stuff in my head, like just bam, bam, you know. So I am going to go home and get a nap, probably, and get our stuff put away and get a shower and just study and get ready for tomorrow. But I just wanted to share my dream because I've been thinking about it ever since, and I was like, this is so strange how tired I am. And just the fact that I knew in my dream that I was asleep. So it's like, well, was I asleep or did I travel in the spirit? You know, because that is a thing. If you read the Bible, it is a thing. So it's very interesting, but I'm looking at it and just, you know, because when God gives us certain things, it's not, one thing about God is like when you have spiritual things, yes, some things are going to be, you know, random. If the enemy is trying to send you, trying to block you, your blessing or whatever, or slow you down, but God is good. He's not, he always has a reason and purpose in what he does, and that was symbolic, you know. So I'm just going over it in my head, thinking about like what was God trying to show me with that and what certain things represented, and I think it's kind of obvious, you know, but just going over it in my mind. And yeah, we had a great time. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, all the mothers, because what we do, being a mom, is not easy. It is very worth it, but it is definitely not easy. So salute to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. I hope everyone is having a great day. We had a great day with my mom yesterday. We were able to go to the beach because at first it was going to rain, then the weather changed and God changed it, and all of a sudden the weather forecast completely changed and it was nice out. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to have, you know, to be outside and enjoy the beach. And then we went to the pool, and Nora swam in the pool. She wasn't scared. It didn't affect her. It was a little too cold for me. So we hung out in the hot tub. Excuse me, but she was swimming so good. And excuse me, I've got to really teach her how to swim all the way, because I put her in swim lessons one year when she was real little, but we missed a couple sessions, I think because she was sick and she just didn't really get much out of that session. And she got more out of being at my mom's friend's pool, Barb's pool. She lets us go to her pool in the summer, and she has a nice big in-ground pool, and she has a shallow end, so Nora is able to, you know, she's definitely progressing with her swimming. So I'm hoping we can get her used to, you know, eventually sometime in the near future getting her swimmings off and being, you know, confident enough to swim without them. But for now, I normally put that little vest on her, but this year we did the arm swimmies and the little arm floaties, and she did great. She loved it. She swam all over the place. She wasn't scared at all. She just jumped in right by herself. She did great. So really proud of her for that. And Ari was there. We had a great time being together with Mom. And yeah, so anyways, happy Mother's Day. I am so sleepy. I'm gonna have to get me some kind of caffeine or something. But anyways, happy Mother's Day, and